Okay, this one is an easy and super fast puff pastry recipe, Palmeritas or Palmeritas for the smaller ones that we're making today. You find them everywhere in Spanish bakeries, and they're great little pastries that you can eat for morning or afternoon tea, and they're wonderful with coffee, and there are only 4 ingredients. So it's a perfect recipe for beginners and children. I make them with my toddler all the time. First up, prepare your baking tray. I'm using a little melted butter to stick down some baking paper, and then turn on your oven to 200 degrees Celsius. Our 4 ingredients are some pre-made and pre-rolled butter puff pastry. You need a square or a rectangle, not a circle. If your pastry was frozen, you'll need to defrost it in the fridge first. You'll also need about 50 grams of melted and cooled butter, and some sugar, 3 tablespoons, and some cinnamon, 2 teaspoons. If you don't like cinnamon, you can just use sugar. The ingredients are listed in the description of this video as well. So unwrap your pastry. You want to keep your pastry cold while you're working with it, because if it gets warm it won't puff up as much. I work with half a sheet at a time, and my piece is 29 centimeters by 29 centimeters. I'm going to work with half a sheet at a time, so cut the pastry and transfer one half to a piece of baking paper and roll the other half back up and put it in the fridge. So now you've got a rectangle. Turn it around and roll it a little more lengthways. Try to keep it even until it's around 3 millimeters thick. In my case, I got an extra 5 centimeters from rolling it out. By the way, if you're in the States and using the Pepperidge Farm puff pastry, it is quite a bit thicker than puff pastries I've used in Australia and Europe, so you may need to roll it a little bit more. In the end, it should be about 3 millimeters thick, something like this. Then I'm taking my melted and cooled butter and brushing it all over one side. So puff pastry is made with layers of dough and butter, but I'm putting more here to help the sugar caramelize and get crunchy when the Palmeritas bake. And then use about half your sugar and sprinkle that mixture over generously, because you're actually putting enough sugar here for 2 layers of pastry. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Then you want to take the short ends and roll them carefully towards the middle. So just start slowly, and you see there that sugar is going to cover the other side as well that was underneath. So roll it to the center and then carefully roll up the other side as well until the circles are more or less the same size and they meet in the middle. Then brush some more butter on top of that and sprinkle some more sugar. Then we're also putting some sugar onto the baking tray in 3 lines where we want to lay the pastries. Then you just need to make slices about 5 to 7 millimeters thick and set them on the sugar on the tray. Now what happens here, you can see that when you slice, you flatten the rolls. So what I do is push the ends back around while I'm transferring each slice to the bake tray. Remember not to touch the pastry too much because you want the pastry to stay cold. So it's slice, curl, and place. Let's get a close-up. Slice, curl, and place. Slice, curl, and place. They should look heart-shaped on the bake tray. Then to finish, just brush with some more butter and sprinkle the last of the sugar over the top. The sugar underneath helps the pastry puff up sideways on the bake tray at the start of cooking, and it also caramelizes with the butter at the end of cooking. Put your tray straight into the preheated oven for about 13 minutes. If your oven isn't hot enough yet, put the bake tray into the fridge until it's ready. You can see here that I baked some ugly ones from the end of the roll, but they're great testers. If you take a look at the underside, you can see nice and golden and crispy. So wait around 10 minutes to cool them a little, and then find some people to help you eat them. So there you have it, a really good recipe for the weekend. They only take around 20 minutes from start to finish, and you have your own homemade pastries and a kitchen that smells like cinnamon bakery goodness. Okay, I'd love to see a photo of your Palmeritas. You can post one to Instagram at #SpanishBaking, and don't forget to tag me as well. My channel, Spanish Taster, is all about Spanish cooking, so check it out for more recipes. If you like it, please subscribe and let me know what you want to learn how to make. See you next time.